The South Carolina Department of Education, in partnership with ETV, presents the South Carolina African American History Calendar. Columbia native Isaac Washington Sr. is highly regarded for his numerous contributions to South Carolina. While Washington is arguably most well known for his illustrious career in media, he also advocated for civil rights, empowered local communities, and is a proud veteran of the United States Marine Corps. During his days in high school and college, Washington participated in numerous civil rights protests and even marched for the historic Edwards versus South Carolina Supreme Court case in the early 1960s.
In this particular case, what was happening, we blacks weren't allowed to probably assemble around the State House and State House ground. What we did was we marched around the State House in protest of the housing and the protest of some of the other events that were going on that we was adamantly opposed to. And as we did that, I think it was 182 people was arrested, and they were jailed. In that particular march, we had Senator James Clyburn with us also, I can just remember. But Brother Edwards, who's a good friend of mine, we marched together in protest to this particular, these injustices. Now, the court overturned these convictions, and that was what basically this Edward versus South Carolina was about, the overturning of those convictions, and this is what we was dealing with at that particular time.
After serving in the Marine Corps, Washington worked for WIS Television, fulfilling several director positions. While at WIS, Washington empowered local African American communities by pioneering the Awareness Program and created an on-the-job training program at WIS for African American college students.
I went to the managers at that particular time and said, we have a need in our community for positive role models. Everything we saw on TV was basically blacks robbing and stealing. And I said, man, we've got a lot of things going on in our community. Man, they said, okay, I tell you what, you go ahead and formulate it. You go ahead and get some people to work it. That's when I knew, and I started, said, well, I need a job training program. Like when going to WIS, it was the first time that I had ever been in a television station, so I didn't know anything. But working in the promotion department, working in all these other departments, they said, go ahead. And I started an on-the-job training program with Benedict College students, Allen University students, and Claflin students, and the University of South Carolina black students. And we got together and we formed. And in 1971, we kicked off the awareness program. We had featured on that, I think, Muhammad Ali. We didn't have a budget, but all of these people that we started in the on-the-job training program worked on this particular show. And what happened is that most of them, after the show, they were hired full-time doing the different jobs. They're in lighting, they're doing reporting, they were doing audio and video. So and in fact, the awareness program is still going strong. In fact, it's probably the longest running public service program in the United States today. So it worked then, and it's still working.
Later in life, Washington became a co-founder of Black News, and then became president and publisher of the South Carolina Black Media Group. This group has earned numerous citations, including the National Newspaper Publisher Association's Publisher of the Year Award. Washington has rightfully earned his spot on the Housing Authority Wall of Fame and on the South Carolina African American History Calendar. Learn more about the South Carolina African American Calendar's current and past honorees at www.scafricanamerican.com.